Welcome to Inside the Newsroom. I'm Maddie Paul, hosting this show as we talk about the trending stories in the KELOLAND area and bring in our newsroom staff members to talk about these trending stories that you see every day on our newscasts and online at KELOLAND.com. To start off, Scott Munt was very excited and practically begged to be on the show today because he has exciting news for me, right? That's why you wanted to be on.
I really pushed the powers that be so I could be on this show with you today. To inform you what's coming next week.
Because it's good news, right?
You will have to change your wardrobe.
That's not good news. What do you mean? What do you mean? More tank tops?
No. More tank tops?
Yeah.
No, that's not changing.
Oh, yeah,
the
I guess
wardrobe.
that's...
Unless you're changing colors, I guess.
Maybe my brain was just like, I get more clothes now. I can keep more clothes.
You're going to put some layers on, I'm sure, knowing you.
Probably. Oh, so it's going to get cold.
There you go.
Oh, did I spoil it?
You got it. Yeah. We have cool mornings coming. Starting this weekend, we'll watch a cold front come through. That will help spark some showers, thunderstorms late in the day tomorrow, extending into Friday. Behind this front, we'll really start to feel those cold temperatures as we do get into, the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll watch those morning lows Sunday morning into early next week. Let's go ahead and check out the graphic as temperatures are expected to fall. It just says cool. Okay, it doesn't say how cool yet. Just says, okay, now you can go. There you go. Now I allow you to scream and yell and jump up and down because we have 40s and 50s on the way. It may be welcome to some. Others are thinking, no, let's hold on to summer as long as we can.
Yeah,
we
who's
don't need
Team
these
Maddie?
colder temperatures.
Team Summer.
Because we know what's around the corner as temperatures start to cool. Here's Sunday morning, numbers in the upper 40s, eastern, northeastern, South Dakota, temperatures near 50 for a lot of us, western, central, southeastern KELOLAND. So you'll definitely feel the coolness, or can I say a chill in the air?
Yeah.
Now, would you categorize this as cool, cold, chilly?
Freezing.
Freezing's 32 degrees and below.
Yeah, I know, but that's close enough. 40's like close. It's like girl math. It's like close enough to be like that.
So what's boy math then?
Boy math is I'll tell you
just
what.
Saying 40s without a number?
Here's the thing.
Without a specific number?
No. Here's the boy math, specific Midwest boy math. If it's like 40 degrees or lower or higher, doesn't matter. Short weather, especially if you're a high school boy.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. So like maybe boy math doesn't exist. Because either way, you're just going to wear the shorts. Come on, everybody knows this. Every parent is like, yes, my son always wears shorts. I have a brother, so I know these things.
Okay, yeah. So then you know these things better than I do.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When I get my workouts in, I'm wearing shorts, to the car, and then drive to the gym. So from the car into the gym, I have my shorts on most of the time. If it's even through the winter.
See, no, that's why you have the second set of clothes ready to go for when I'm wearing pants today, actually. I don't think this is oversharing. Fine. I usually wear shorts in the summertime, but today I had to wear pants because I thought it was too cold outside. Now I'm getting all hyped up. The cold brew's like sitting in now.
Oh my, I'm sorry, I hit the microphone. I just had to put my hand up here. I'm just thinking how it is going to be early next week for you. Just a taste of fall.
I'm accepting.
40s,
I'm accepting that fall is starting soon. Soon. But isn't it still summertime?
It is, but we do have these, these hits of cooler weather. And I'm looking at this is the graphic I want to show you. Okay, it's even cooler Monday morning than what I just showed you on Sunday morning.
Oh, my Lord.
By just a couple of degrees. The record low temperature on the 26th is 40.
I'm actually surprised by that.
So we'll see how close we get to these record low temperatures. If we get these numbers to fall to maybe the mid-40s, it's at least showing that on the computer model. Sometimes that information comes in maybe a little too warm when you're looking at overnight lows and underestimates how cold this air actually is. Mm-hmm. I still wouldn't be surprised if these numbers end up being a little cooler.
See, because you were just on the show.
Nothing but smiles for me, right?
And then I'm like,
Get off my show.
Yeah, exactly. But you just came on Monday and you were talking about how you like to compare these numbers and look at these different models as it's coming in. Yeah. So since Monday, is it kind of keeping on track that you've noticed, or is it looking a little
slowly, here, getting lower and lower. Right?
You sink in a little?
Yeah, right. You'll need a blanket next week.
Well, soon my background for the show will have to just have like snow like coming in the background, showing how frosty it is. You like wintertime?
Yeah, I like all seasons.
Well,
hence
good
my job.
For you. I like summer. I like going out to the lake, going out to the water, soaking in some sun, soaking in that water. It's always really nice. I think we've had a pretty good summer so far. We've had a lot of severe weather, though.
We have. And we were looking at that the other day with Brian Karstens on our show, Whether or Not. Even in the month of August, we've stayed fairly high with our severe weather reports coming in. We already have more than average of our severe wind reports. Last night, I think we're around 150 maybe. Wow. And, that's, I think, either our highest we've had since the year 2000, just for the month of August in South Dakota, or it's pretty close.
Wow, that's so fascinating. And, with like June weather comparison from like last year to this year, I mean, obviously we had historic flooding in June last year, but then this year, we did see a lot of flooding, but not as historic as it was the year before. Like that feeling of anxiety was definitely there, at least for me, like this past June, and I'm sure for others, but kind of blessed in a way where it's not too much, but still seeing that comparison,
Right. And we had an active June.
Yeah.
It took a while to get, our strong to severe weather season going. Seems like it took a while to get this to go in June, and then it just carried over once it started. Just kept carrying over into July, and then here we are getting into the second half of August, and it looks like things are starting to settle down a little bit.
Well, you're telling me that fall's already starting.
Now, we will warm up again.
Okay.
All right. Now, think of this, too. Labor Day is the 1st of September. Falls on a Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very, very early. And as we get into the Labor Day holiday, temperatures will be closer to average. As that happens, we get out of this cooler temperature trend for this weekend into early next week. We'll have to bring in the shower and thunderstorm chances too. So don't be surprised if we do have that chance for rain as we go through the holiday weekend for next weekend, as temperatures do return closer to average. By then, the average high temperature is around 80. So you'll still have some warm days. Just because it turns September and people are thinking of their pumpkin spice lattes or whatever they have.
That's why I'm excited.
No, you enjoy the fall,
now
don't you?
I'm smiling.
The cooler weather.
Yeah, now I'm super smiling.
All right, just had to bait you a little bit, bring you in.
Scott, thank you so much for joining me here at the
You
Digital
are
Desk
welcome.
to talk
Always
about.
A pleasure to come in here.
Yes, of course. And stick around, viewers, because up next we are talking about millions of dollars that is going into Mitchell for public education. Stay with us. We're going to have a reporter next on Inside the Newsroom. Welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. A multi-million-dollar donation will make a significant impact for education in Mitchell, from pre-K to college. And Sydney Hoyer explains.
As the school year kicks off tomorrow, students from kindergarten all the way to senior year will notice some big and impactful changes thanks to the music family. A gift that totals $33 million will go towards the Mitchell School District and Dakota Wesleyan University.
I've been on the Dakota Wesleyan board for about 20 years and a graduate of Mitchell High School, and they've worked together very well the last decade or two, and I just want to make sure we continue to work together and improve education in Mitchell.
At a press conference this morning, the Mitchell Schools superintendent and DWU's president expressed their gratitude and excitement for the changes that will come with the donation.
From our first conversations with Roger, it was clear that this commitment was more than about dollars. He asked hard questions, saw clear outcomes, and stayed focused on one central goal: improving education for young people.
The music family's gift will help fund a pre-kindergarten program, free after-school care, college classes for high school students, and better programs for aspiring teachers.
With the gift amount that we've seen from the Music Foundation, the gift of $33 million will allow us to start these programs and run them forever. So what we're talking about is something that changes the way Mitchell looks, and it'll change it tomorrow.
So as students fill the hallways tomorrow, they can rest assured that their future education is in good hands.
And Sydney Hoyer joins us now at the Digital Desk to talk more about this story. Sydney, I want to ask to start off, when you got to the news conference, did you know that there would be a multi-million-dollar donation going to schools, or what did you know going in?
Yeah, all we really knew was that there was a big announcement
And they had kind of told us secretly it's going to be a pretty big gift, but they said don't tell anybody that yet. So I really didn't know exactly what to expect.
And then what was the atmosphere like when you did arrive? Like, how were people reacting or talking to each other?
It seemed like a lot of people showed up for it. A lot of teachers that worked in that district, a lot of students were there, some families. And they seemed pretty excited, but once they found out what it really was, they were super excited.
Yeah, I mean, this type of money that's going into education for Mitchell is so important and huge. And as you were talking to Roger, who made this donation and learning a bit more about his family, what did you learn about his commitment to aiding education in that area?
Yeah, so he graduated from Mitchell High School himself, and he just said how much he valued a good teacher was one thing he really was trying to hit home on, was that he said there's nothing more important than having a really good educator in a classroom.
And then what else did you hear from the news conference from the people who spoke at the podiums?
Yeah, they just explained everything that this was going to go towards because it really covers a lot. It was kind of hard to hit all those bases in my story because it starts with a begindergarten, which is a pre-K program. It goes to after-school programs in the elementary school, all the way through high school, students being able to take college classes, and then even teachers who could then take master's programs.
Wow. So it really just ranges all around for Mitchell. Again, I just think this is such a neat story. And you were witnessing like your own reaction, like coming through, like as you were there at this event. So how did you find all of those factors kind of influencing how you would write and present this story, when it was just going in with little information to finding out the big reveal to interviewing with everyone? Again, how did these factors help you write and present the story?
I kind of had to go through, like I said, there were just so many aspects of this donation and what it would do. And so just hitting on those bigger points was what I was trying to go for, because there was a lot to cover, but it was easier to kind of focus on a few of those bigger aspects of the donation.
Is there anything else you'd like viewers to know about this story, or something that wasn't mentioned in your story that you think should be included now?
I thought it was really neat. They brought up some people from the audience that they had planned to have there, of course, but who would be specifically impacted by these donations. So they brought up a family with younger kids who could go to that kindergarten. They brought up a senior in high school who was going to take some college courses at DWU. And they also brought up a student teacher who was going to be working towards her master.
Wow. So you're just witnessing the impact firsthand with all those people that are just already coming up.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sydney, thank you so much for coming here at the Digital Desk to talk more about this story. And everyone, stick around, because up next, we are talking about a cemetery that has lost its nonprofit status and what that means for the future. Stay with us. We'll be back on Inside the Newsroom after the break. Welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. The nonprofit organization that takes care of the oldest cemetery in Sioux Falls has lost its nonprofit status. Now, here's everything you need to know if you have a loved one at Mount Pleasant Cemetery.
Over the years, KELOLAND News has done several stories with former Mount Pleasant Cemetery Executive Director Matt Gage, starting back in 2022.
It's the reason that I choose to work here. Family. Friends. Mount Pleasant is full of family and friends, and I think it's an important place to maintain and preserve.
But Matt Gage recently announced he was leaving his job at the cemetery. I spoke on the phone this afternoon with his father, Fred Gage, the president of the board of directors for the nonprofit organization that takes care of Mount Pleasant Cemetery. He said an on-camera interview wasn't possible, but did go into some detail about the issues. He says they failed to submit a Form 990 with the Internal Revenue Service for 2023, 2024, and 2025. The IRS uses the form to learn about an organization. Gage says the organization plans to file these forms. South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley says Mount Pleasant Cemetery lost its nonprofit status because it wasn't compliant with the IRS. And the state's top law enforcement officer says anyone with a loved one interred in this Central Sioux Falls cemetery should reach out.
I think the big thing is if loved ones have concerns about an existing grave site or future grave sites, to let us know at the Consumer Division, 1-800-300-1986. We're monitoring it, we'll have information, and we can be of assistance.
From his position, Jackley wants to see the organization regain its nonprofit status. How rare is it for a South Dakota nonprofit organization to lose its nonprofit status?
That's pretty rare. During my time as Attorney General, we've had issues with other cemeteries which is why I feel strongly that it is a role of the South Dakota Attorney General's office to make sure things are in order, or we would need to step in and take action.
And Dan Santella joins us now at the digital desk to talk more about this story. Dan, what stood out to you as you interviewed Marty Jackley about this situation?
Well, for one, the rarity of a nonprofit losing at that status, I thought was interesting. It was one of the questions I had sought to ask him, and that's something that I especially think this kind of makes this noteworthy about it. And as you saw in my reporting, I wanted to include that question. I like to do that sometimes, have the exact question I phrased, how I phrased it, and then how the official or whomever I'm interviewing, how they responded to that exact question, because I think that establishes, the whole interview and takes people inside that. But it is, I think you need to establish the commonality or lack thereof of a nonprofit going through this.
Right. And was there anything else that Jackley told you about the Mount Pleasant Cemetery situation that didn't make it in the story that you think viewers should know?
No. And he shared that people should reach out with concerns, and that was in the story. And I think that's, you're talking about a cemetery, someone's final resting place. That person has loved ones and family and friends. And I think, why is it noteworthy? What could be happening to a cemetery in Central Sioux Falls? Well, this is important to a lot of people who have families memorialized there. And so Jackley spoke to that, and I thought it was important to include that because, someone reading or watching the story could have a loved one who's there.
Right. And was there anything or any idea that you heard from Fred Gage, who you talked to, or even Jackley about what happens next?
No. To put it shortly, Mr. Gage didn't want to share a whole lot with me, but he did share some details as I included in the story. Mm-hmm. We had a couple of phone calls yesterday about that. Jackley did say that he's hopeful and he wants to encourage that nonprofit status to return for the cemetery. And he was clear to detail that. And so he shared that, and it will be interesting to see what comes down the line with the nonprofit and the cemetery.
Is there anything else that you think viewers should know about how you put together this story or the information that you heard from Jackley or Gage?
We have an opportunity often to speak with our Attorney General, and he's makes himself available to the press. I believe that's happening again today. Tom Hansen is covering that story. And so, he's the state's top law enforcement officer. So there are a lot of different questions a reporter can bring to him. And while this story had to do with the IRS, he still had, details that he could weigh in and share his perspective with.
Great. Dan, thank you so much for giving us more details about this story. And everyone stick around. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. It's a first-of-its-kind collaboration, not only for the Sioux Falls School District, but also for the Boys and Girls Club of the Sioux Empire. And it's offering students a long list of after-school opportunities. So Travis Fossing gives us a first look.
Families at George McGovern Middle School are getting their first look at the club. It's a first-of-its-kind collaboration between the Sioux Falls School District and Boys and Girls Clubs of the Sioux Empire. And the parents were more than impressed.
They loved it. They said it's a big building. They want their kids to come every day to grow and be with the organization.
The 16,000 square foot facility will offer students everything from a full-size gymnasium to a teaching kitchen.
I want to show them how to cook. So cooking is going to be a big one, doing hair, playing sports games.
Teen Connection Coordinator Khalid Waters says there's even a podcast studio.
We have lyricism, podcasting, and some of the teachers actually volunteered to come down to help with podcasting and lyricism.
Seeing everything come together is tremendous, but really the magic is going to happen on Thursday.
School doesn't start until Thursday, but there are already 140 kids enrolled in this free program.
It's incredibly needed. What we've seen with similar clubs like this around the country is it does things like it improves school attendance. It can improve test scores and grades. It improves even things like behaviors.
The number of students will increase with the addition of more staff, but CEO Stacy Jones says the organization can't do it alone.
The club was entirely privately funded. We've had a lot of great community support to get it up and running. And we want to keep it free for the young people. And in order to do that, it's going to take even more community support as we move forward.
And Waters can't wait for day one.
Big old smiles on kids' faces and them running in or walking in to put their stuff in and see everything and explore everything and have fun.
Travis Fossing joins us now at the digital desk because I knew you didn't come back to work on time, Travis. You were playing in that space, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. They had lots of games, little shuffleboard, and I think a golden tee golf game. They had all sorts of stuff in there.
I mean, you have video games. I mean, what stood out to me was the podcast room that they have.
Yeah, I had no idea that they were going to have a podcast room. I knew they had a kitchen in there where they're going to teach kids to cook, but a podcast room, had no idea. Sounds like some of the teachers are going to come down and even help out with learning. They may even learn something from the kids.
Oh, that's so cool. And you know, what have you heard from your interviewees about the opportunities that will just be at this space for kids after school?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great because it's not only going to be after school, it's going to be on certain days where there is no school during the week, but then it's also going to be open during the summertime. And it's for the kids at George McGovern. But a lot of people are going to be able to come and check this place out, and it's free. I mean, that's the best part of it for these families is this was all privately funded to build, and it's going to remain a free opportunity as long as they have community support along the way.
It like stuns me a little that this is like a first of its kind collaboration between the school district and the Sioux Empire too. What kind of excitement were you hearing about this type of collaboration from them?
Well, they learned about it from the principal at George McGovern. He had come across something similar down in the Omaha area where a club was attached to a school, and he came to them with the idea, and they kind of ran with it.
Wow. And you said in the package that about 140 students had already signed up. And can people still sign up?
They can. They may end up on a waiting list at this point because there's only going to be one teacher for every 20 kids. So they've got to add more staff. They hope at some point to have up to 300 kids in this at any one point. But it's probably going to be right around that 140 to start the school year, and they're going to grow from there.
Oh, definitely going to grow from there. Travis, anything else you'd like our viewers to know about this collaboration in that space?
I mean, it's just a neat opportunity for kids. I mean, me growing up, we didn't have spaces like this. So hope family and kids take advantage of the opportunity at George McGovern, and maybe we'll even see more of these pop up down the road.
Yeah. Travis, thank you so much for joining me with these details. And everyone, thank you for watching Inside the Newsroom. That's all the time that we had today, but I hope you had fun learning more about the KELOLAND area and the trending stories that just continue to flow every single day. And until next time, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, have a great day, everyone.